Do you want to do
Yeah,
media?
we're live.
All
Yeah,
right.
we could do whatever. I mean, honestly, anything that you want. Guys, if you're here, make sure to give StreamYard permission to comment on Facebook. Gonna be posting this live. Give me a few seconds to get everything set up.
What's going on,
All
everyone?
right.
If you're live with us tonight, welcome.
Let's see here.
William's getting some things set up, but if you're going to get caught up with us and go live with us, we appreciate your time tonight. We'll make it worth your while one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm just posting it in the groups and stuff, and don't post it in too many groups. It's crazy, man.
It's really stupid. I mean, they're really going to, all they're going to do is create
They're
more
gonna,
competition.
they're going to kill themselves.
Yeah, they're going to create competition. They
Because
are.
people are sick and tired of this stuff, and they're like, I used to say, Facebook will never go away. I really think it probably will. Because the way they're doing themselves.
It'll be an epic MySpace failure. Remember,
Yeah, it's like MySpace and everything else with it. It's like, you can't do almost nothing, and it's just stupid. So, but yep, we're good to go. We're set.
Sweet.
So if you need to share a screen or anything, hey guys, I got Lane with Quantum. We're going to go over setting up some media rooms and some new things that are come out in regards to local SEO and Quantum Press Wire. And go ahead, Lane. If you want to share a screen, just let me know and I'll add it.
I'm sharing it now. You guys, you're seeing my screen?
There we go.
Yep. Let me know if you're seeing my screen.
Yep, we're good. I see it.
All right, good. All right. So I guess tonight the first thing that William and I talked about doing is we're gonna just take a media room live. And I guess before I do that, let me also just underscore how powerful this is here. I'll go into our slide deck and just point out something here. So we're in the middle of we're just like 2 weeks away from a brand new launch of Quantum Newswire, Quantum Signals. We really are getting away from Quantum Newswire because we are no longer just a press release service. We really never were, but that name kind of made people think that we were just a press release service, and it was fine in the beginning because that's really the only way we generated signals. But now we've started generating signals in many other ways. So we came out with Quantum Signals as an interim brand, but in 2 weeks or so, July 3rd, we will be revealing our new brand name and new logo. So if you want to go to find Quantum Signals and like that page, and that Quantum Signals page will become our new brand name in 2 weeks. But to talk about media rooms, so and where we're going with things here. So the media rooms are the first of many branded apps or branded app channels that are going to be released. Reddit is done. We demoed it today on the staging server, and that will go live. I think it may even be this week still. Twitter and Reddit are actually both done. I don't know if Twitter's going live. We've been just making sure that Twitter is really ready to go live with some testing, but Twitter and Reddit are basically already done. But the media rooms are done and live and in production and already been working for several weeks. We're going to launch a media room tonight. Live here with William and myself. But to give you guys kind of a larger picture of what's going to be happening here from an SEO perspective, media rooms are the first of many app channels that we will have for SEO and signal generation. Okay, all of the new app channels, starting with media rooms, will be able to be deployed in 3 different ways. I'm going to show you those 3 ways tonight. And then these custom branded apps will be the additional signal hubs on your client's domain. So ultimately, we're using these 3 different ways to deploy the app channels, media room being the one tonight. And we're using it to drive domain authority, entity authority, really, ultimately, beyond just the domain. But we're also going to use a subdomain and a hosted domain that's going to work in unison by our software to help drive domain authority ultimately to the root client's website or domain, where we're going to install the media room as well using our integration code. Okay, so what's going to happen is the media room goes live on a page, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But then when Reddit and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Google Maps, all of these different app channels go live, you'll connect your client's Facebook account, their Google account, their Reddit account, and then you're going to then start to bring in all of the content that would normally just go to Facebook or just go to Reddit or just go to Twitter. And now all of that content, yes, it will exist out on the social or platform, but we're going to bring that content from an authorship perspective with schema markup directly on the client's website, okay? With direct app integrations and app integration code. And with perfect schema markup on a post-by-post basis, all bring that authorship and that credit for the authorship of that post, that tweet, that post on Facebook, or that post on a Reddit channel, all bring that authorship and that credit for that authorship back to the root domain, okay? And so ultimately, the client's domain is going to become a signal hub for Googlebot, and that's exactly what we want. And all of the content that clients used to just send, so a client today authors a post on Facebook, they post it on Facebook, and all of the traffic goes to Facebook. All of the authorship credit for that content goes to Facebook. Once we go live, these are connected in Quantum or in our new domain or our new, brand coming soon. You're going to literally take all of that authorship credit and amass it to the client's website via the integration code. So that's kind of what's behind the scenes here with the technology and the bigger picture of what's happening and where this is going very, very soon. So media rooms, managed enterprise media rooms went live almost a month ago. Now, media rooms are not new. They've been around for several years, and the big player, if you will, in the industry of PR and media rooms is Cision, or PR Newswire, as you might have known them from before. Cision actually bought PR Newswire several years ago. So PR Newswire or Cision, they offer enterprise media rooms with a setup cost of $15,000 annually and a $5,000 setup, okay? And this is right here from their pricing guide. If you don't believe me, feel free to shop it. I actually got on a Zoom like presentation with them 2 weeks ago just to verify this pricing. They actually, in full disclosure, they came down to $1,000 setup and $11,000 annually for the media room, because they knew that to their knowledge, the company that I was shopping with, I told them, this company doesn't have a big budget. They're not like a big, Fortune 500 company with, a couple of $1 million a year just for PR. So give me your very, very best price if this is even going to have a chance of working, because I really wanted to see how low would they actually really go for this media room. Now, this media room does not include even one press release, okay? It is simply the setup and deployment of a media room with the client's logo and contact information on it, and then the hosting, the management, and the support of that media room for the entire year. Okay, they came down to $1,000 setup and $11,000 annually. Now, this is just to deploy a media room without even one press release. To do a one press release, which would then automatically publish to the media room, right? Each press release is a cost of $550, which is the same sort of equivalent distribution to what we have in Quantum, okay? So this is the value of the software. Every time you click a button and deploy a media room, I want our users to understand what you're deploying and what the competition's charging just to deploy this media room, okay?
So they can see the value in it.
Yes. All right, because although we've got a software now that you can click, and you'll see this here in a second, and deploy a media room within about a minute, okay? Here's what the competition is charging, and obviously they have probably I know they do. They have their own software and CMS in the back end here, and they probably click a button or two and deploy the media room pretty easily, but they're charging $1,000 just to deploy it. And then they require, by the way, this isn't a monthly, this is $11,000 annually, and you've got to pay that all up front. You don't pay that over like on a payment plan. So this is a $12K upfront in year one, and then $11,000 in a lump sum every year thereafter, just to keep our media room alive. Okay, we're doing this for our agencies now with the click of a button, and all of our existing agencies take your existing company slots, and you can deploy a media room for every single one of them. Okay, so I'm going to go do that right now. We're going to go to, I got a kind of a friend, he's kind of a quasi client, but he doesn't have the media room deployed yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now. So when you're in your agency account, you just find the company that you want to deploy a media room for. You go to this little globe here and you just click on integrations. And here are the 3 options to deploy a media room. Okay. Now we're not going to do this one. The branded domain, we're not going to do tonight because it takes the longest. It requires actually setting up some CNAMEs. In this case, I'm just going to show you the first step. So fish this inshore charters. Make sure you get this right. Fish this inshorecharters.com, and then you hit request certificate, and then it's going to provision the SSL, and then it's going to give us the first CNAME record. All right, I've got to go add this CNAME record and the target or the value, and then once it's live, and I'm sure it's live by testing it, then I can come back here to our system and then hit refresh, and then it'll find that first record, and then it's going to give me a second CNAME record for WWM. Once that second CNAME record is set up, then the WWM version of the media room will be live. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a moment on one that's already deployed. I'm going to go to the branded integration one first. We'll come back to the hosted domain one last. Okay, so the branded integration is the most important one. It's the easiest one to set up. It's the one that probably most clients will appreciate. This is the one that you use to set up the media room directly on an existing website. It used to be that to deploy these media rooms, so to speak, you had to use our WordPress plugin. The WordPress plugin is now being deprecated, and the media room is the branded integration version of the media room is the complete and superior replacement to the WordPress plugin. You just click choose branded integration. We're going to create the media room code. It's created. I'm going to just go ahead and copy this integration code. Don't worry about height. That used to be in the first iteration something that we had to deal with. We don't have to deal with it anymore. Just go ahead and copy the integration code to your clipboard by clicking the link right here and then close here. Now we're going to go over to our site, and we're just going to add a new page called Media Room. If you're using our plugin and you already had like a press releases page or a news and media page set up using our short code, then you can use that existing page if you'd like and just replace the short code with this this new HTML code snippet. I'll use Divi Builder since a lot of the agencies, people out there use Divi Builder. You can use plain HTML as well if you want. Either way is fine. What I'll do is I'll clone an existing page and then drop in. I'll drop in the code here. You'll see how quickly this goes here. There we go. Let's clone the contact page. And I'm going to just delete this section here. And I'm going to add a new in. I'm going to add a full width. Full width looks the best for the media room. So select full width code. Here's our code snippet. I'm just going to go ahead and push that in right there. And I'm going to go ahead and check that. And I'm going to go ahead and publish away and see if this works. I haven't even done it in Divi Builder before. I don't use Divi very much.
Neither do I. I actually can't stand Divi. So
I hate Divi. I don't use it. This is his site. His site doesn't look like that works. So I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to go back to. I'm just going to exit Visual Builder and just going to do it inside regular text HTML just to see, so you guys can see. Yeah. Oh, there it was there. Oh. Okay. So let's see here. And it's already live. So let's see here. So that code did work. It just wasn't showing up there. I guess it doesn't. I guess WVO doesn't reveal it. But let's just take this code here or this URL, and let's go to an incognito window and just test it real quick. There it is. Yep, and there's the media room. Okay, so you can see here. Here's some of the previous press releases. Here's the information here. This will all be in schema markup automatically for you. So that's some of the power of the software, is that we're going to be marking up every single one of these pages and the media room itself with schema markup, with it doing it properly and automatically for you. So you don't have to even worry about it. It's just going to be drop dead easy. And that's, you know, the media room, as simple as it is right there, just dropping in that code and publishing. Okay. So number one, we could remove that image there. I might take that up, and obviously you can just you could edit these pages just like you would any page on the existing website. You could drop in a different image here, and to give you guys maybe an example of what some other media rooms look like. This is one that turned out really nice. The media room code adopts the CSS of your website, including the fonts and all that. So whatever your default fonts are, it's just going to adopt all that. You can see the map here as well in the media room. I'll show you what you have to do to create the map, or to have the map actually just show up in the media room. But all of this is, you know, same as schema markup. And if you go in here and go into the website, go into one of the articles, the media room articles that you go into, you'll see they're the same as what's out on the media sites. And the drop-down distribution is now live in the media room as well. So when we drop this distribution tab here, you can see here we get a sampling of the different sites that the article is out on, right? And this random sample here of drop-downs does actually vary. So our software is varying this random sample article by article within the drop-down, so that when Googlebot comes to find these, when it crawls these pages and sees these different distribution links, it's actually going to find different links on different pages, so it's not always the same. Okay, we want to both institute. We have both instituted variance and progressive optimization into the software. What I mean by progressive optimization is that our software will actually change some things in minor ways after the first publication and after the first crawl by Googlebot. What do I mean? Why do we do that? Because we want to bring Googlebot back to a page and have it crawl again and have it see an enhancement, an improvement in that page. All right. Google loves to come back to a page and see new things and improvements, especially. That's why a lot of times you'll see people get great results out of repurposing old content that's just been sitting stagnant on a website for a long time. You come in, you do some great on page, you repurpose that content, you improve it, you add schema, you add some images, maybe a video, and then you ping Google Search Console again to come crawl that page again, and now you've made all those enhancements and improvements. You can see some great pops, just on pages that were maybe lying dormant and not doing so well, and all of a sudden you get a lot more out of them just through some of those enhancements. So that progressive optimization is part of our software and what's happening there. Okay, so what's happening here? Any questions so far on our deployment and what we've got so far, William?
Nothing yet. Nothing's come up.
All right, so you guys saw the deployment of the media room using the branded integration. So all you're going to have to do is go in, create the code. You can see it's just a very short snippet of code. All you got to do is deploy that to an HTML widget or an HTML like you saw, like I did here, into a full width HTML code widget. And then it displays the media room just like this. And that is the brand integration code. Now, once Twitter, Reddit, and the other app channels go live, you'll do the very same thing. You'll have integrations. You'll see here app channels. These will actually light up once they're able to be enabled and activated for any given client company inside your account. You'll connect their Facebook account or their Twitter account, and off you go. Okay, so that's how you'll activate them. Once they're activated, you'll then be able to create the same type of integration for their website like we did for the media room here. It's just going to be one for Twitter, or one for Reddit instead of a media room. You'll drop it into a new page, and then you'll then create what you'll see then is an aggregated feed for Twitter or for Reddit or what have you. So I'll give you kind of a quick glimpse of that, guys, by going to the Quantum Agency media room on the hosted one. We've got a hosted one right now, and you can see socials lit up because we've got some of these in beta mode already, and we're testing them. So what you'll see here is a social wall, and it's basically an aggregated feed of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mind you, Twitter is an actual live account. The Instagram and Facebook are just basically demo dev accounts that we're testing with. But what you'll see here is an aggregated feed here, and then if we click into any one of these, we go into a wall or a Twitter feed or just an Instagram feed or just a Facebook feed. All of these then, if you click on them, they go right out to the Twitter account, obviously, and that specific tweet. That wall is directly linked with your Twitter account, but it's bringing that feed in here, and these all have perfect schema markup again, and authorship, and there's interlinking happening here as well. We're actually going to be grabbing and being able to deal with grabbing authority from the social platforms and bringing it to a client's, hosted media rooms, or sorry, hosted app channels, and the pages that they're hosted on, whether those are hosted on a hosted domain, which is the mediaroom.app domain that we have right now, or they're hosted directly on the client's direct website, right? So, and preferably they're going to be deployed in all three manners. If they're deployed in all three manners, our software will work with these two versions of the app channel to ultimately interlink, and drive domain authority ultimately to the brand integration, which is the hosted version of it on the client's direct website. So that's a quick overview of how to deploy the branded integration version of the media room. Lastly, how do we do it here? We'll probably do the client's brand name or company name here. In this case, it's Fish This Inshore Charters. We'll choose .mediaroom.app, and we just simply hit request hosted domain. Again, I'm going to make sure this is correct. It is. And it will instantly, within about 5 to 8 seconds, create the media room, and then we'll be able to actually link to it, and then you'll see the media room live here. And if we click into it, you'll see the hosted media room here with About Us, Gallery, Contact Us, and the press releases that line up here. And if you have more than 3, you'll see a load more button down here just to keep loading until you're done loading the full amount if you wanted to load those. The gallery grabs the featured image from each of the press releases, and if you click into those images, it goes to that specific article. And then again, you can come down here and in the hosted version, again, see the distribution down here as well. So whether you're in the hosted version or you're on the actual client's live website, the media rooms can be deployed in both ways. Again, both will work together with our software, and regardless of which one you go to, you have all the same article, all the same features, and the same distribution drop down. Okay, and then these just link out to the appropriate media sites. Okay, this one happens to go to the archive. So this one, so you can see here, this one was actually taken off the media site. And what happened here is just to kind of give you guys a little insight on that, I clicked on Yes FM. This media site must have, it did, but it took that article down. Probably because this is so old. This was probably published back in, I can't see what the year was. I think this was 2020, so it's definitely almost a year old, so that's why it's gone. But so what happened is when we clicked on the Yes FM link in the media room, which was, I think, down here, it's actually on the other one, but I clicked on it and it was already off, and so our system automatically recognized that the media room article was gone from that media site, and so then automatically redirected the user to the archive version of that article. Okay, and here's the archive version of that article. So what we've done with that is completed that loop that with most press release services you don't have. When that article, if someone were to click on that report, and there's those PDF reports that a lot of them put out, they click on that link a year later, like I just did, and that media site is no longer has the article, you get a 404 error page instead of actually seeing the article here on an archive version. So our software automatically recognizes the media room is, the media site has taken the article down, and then our system automatically does a redirect our own archive. We've built our own archive to replace the Wayback Machine. If you guys recall, about 6 months ago or so, the Wayback Machine actually took our app down for a couple hours because they flooded. They just did a bunch of things that we didn't know about and didn't announce to us. I guess they didn't like us using the Wayback Machine to publish millions of pages of press releases to the Wayback Machine. So to counter that, we've built our own archive to replace that, so that we're not dependent on the Wayback Machine anymore for archiving. So that completes the loop on the media room and distribution linking. So if and when these actually come down, you'll still get a very nice user experience. Instead of getting a 404 error page, you'll get the archive version of the article. Again, that you're just seeing that happen live right now. So that's a quick overview of how to deploy the media rooms, how to deploy them in 3 different ways. This is the WWM. It'll be wwm dot the client's domain.com. This is the client's domain.mediaroom.app, and then this is actually directly on their website using the integration code. Again, we recommend to deploy all 3 of these. Think of it this way, guys. When I just deployed this media room for this client, all right, this is just another directory listing. It's only on steroids, right? We go out and we create a listing on all sorts of citation sites that have no value whatsoever. They're just the name, the address, the phone number, but hey, it's a citation, right? Well, this is a citation with perfect schema markup on it, but then it leads Googlebot to the media room. Then the Googlebot comes to the media room and then finds these articles. Then it crawls into the media room article. It finds all these different great images, videos, whatever you put into your article in Quantum, and then it finds the Google map that's properly embedded and marked up. It also sees another perfectly marked up citation, and then it finds the distribution links, and then it, so guys, you're just creating another asset, another online digital asset for your client when you deploy a hosted domain media room for them. It's only that our system is going to perfectly work towards building the authority towards the branded integration version if you're using this version as well.
In 2 weeks, everything will be complete.
When you say everything will be complete, what do you mean by that?
In regards to it being rebranding and all the stuff that, going to Quantum Signals instead of Newswire and all that.
So we're not going to be Quantum Signals or Quantum Newswire. We're going to a completely new brand name July 3rd. Mm-hmm. With that brand name launch, we're going to have some of the new app channels and features that we're going to have new app credits. So we're going to have Quantum credits. Those are all the current credits that our current customers have. You'll keep those credits. Those will always stay the way they are, but the new app credits are going to be how we pay for the functionality happening on the new app channels, whether it's Twitter and some of the app channels are going to be 1 credit, some will be 3, some will be 5. It's going to be based on the functionality behind that app channel, which is going to support the development, the maintenance, and even continued innovation on these, on these app channels.
Yeah.
So
it seems like instead of The only way I can understand it, really, per se, dumb it down, is so normally people go on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, and they just post their stuff, right? And there's no, if you will, connecting of the nodes or connecting of the dots. And with the media room and everything you're doing, that's connecting all the dots in one place. So now all those signals are connected to your assets instead of just connected to Facebook or Twitter or whoever else.
Correct. And understand the media room is just one app. The Instagram would be a separate app on a separate page, just like we have here. So here we have, the domain, .com/media room. Instagram is simply going to run on /Instagram. Twitter will be on .com/Twitter. And on that page, you're simply going to have the app integration code that our software generates for you. And it's going to then immediately populate that entire wall with your Instagram feed or your Twitter feed, but all with perfect schema markup. Also, what's going to happen is, when we go into a press release today and you go into, let me just go into one that's already published just for sake of time. And you go to publish right now, right? You go to publish, you select distribution channel. Once you have Twitter or Instagram or any of these other app channels activated, you'll see those as options to distribute to as well. Okay. Our system will automatically take the summary and the featured image and then publish to Twitter. It'll publish to the Twitter account. It'll also then publish to the Twitter page on the client's account. And we're going to grab the authorship and the authority from that tweet, and we're going to aggregate it or suck it to the Twitter page on the client's website, right?
Yep.
And so thinking again in terms of when SEO, we go back to some of the basics of SEO. SEO is really about signal generation. So what we want to do is we want to create clients' assets around the brand, the entity that we want to rank. The main asset obviously being the client's website and their Google listing. But then supporting those two main assets are a host of other digital assets, whether it be a Reddit account, a Yahoo local listing, a Bing, a Bing business listing, whatever, right? But when it comes to really ranking the website and the GMB listing, we need to build entity authority. To do that, we got to build domain authority under the domain. And we want to do that, we've got to do signal generation around the website and around the Google listing. So signal generation really is the way we build authority and really build lift. So like when we're doing CTR manipulation, right, William, what we're doing, we're creating signals. We're manually creating them, right? Well, correct. That's all that is, a signal. And so if as SEOs, we get our brains in tune with signal generation, you start to look at everything you do a little bit differently and maybe even not so hyper technically, right?
It's really not that technical if you look at it that way. If you look at SEO the way it should be looked at, like to me, I look at SEO and signals the same way. It's creating a brand. If I think of per se quantum, I should think of you, or I think of what you do, and that sort of thing, instead of your competition per se. It's not really the technical aspect of it. It's just creating signals or votes or whatever. And too many people get caught up on all the technical aspects of everything.
Yeah, and I think some people just like it because it really geeks them out, or it's just their personality. They like to get into the technical aspects of it, and that's fine. I mean, I kind of like some of that stuff too, and there's a time and a place for it. But if you really want to build a business, scale an SEO agency, and deal with more than just a handful of clients, you're gonna have to get out of some of those details and try to find what is the minimum viable solution that I can have every single month that I can duplicate, so that I can scale this and I can just duplicate it with one client, the next client, the next client. And I think there's people who are doing way too much to rank things. But they would never know because they're doing all this stuff to rank stuff, and they get the results. But could you be getting the same result by doing 40% less?
There's certain things even now with the new GMB class that I'm launching as I'm going over. I'm literally getting rid of a couple of things that take up a lot of freaking time that are not giving the signals that I want. There was one I literally did it probably less than 2 weeks ago. He was number 15. Now he's sitting at number like 2 and 1 and 3 across the board with just one little thing, one little tweak.
Yeah.
Versus everything else. So,
and then once you find the things that are working and you got a minimum viable solution of going, hey, 80 to 90% of the time, no matter what kind of no matter what kind of business that comes in, we're going to be able to rank this client 89% of the time with this solution. And then, the few times that out of 10 that you can't get the rankings, doing the same thing that you always do, the minimum viable solution. All right, well then do some extra things to get them ranking. But I'm all about, if you want to be as profitable as you possibly can as an SEO, and that's to be the goal of your business, then you have to determine what is it that I can do as an SEO to create results without having to do as the heavy lifting or as least heavy lifting as is possible, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at signal generation and you go, how do I create powerful signals that create lift in rankings? You'll start to think differently about what you do. And I'll posit this: although you can create some signals like with hosting, like you can really great performance, and that's kind of a one-time, not necessarily one-time, but you set it up and you can create signals with good page speed insights and good core web vitals, right? So not diminishing those, because they're really, really important. Core web vitals being really important, especially with the new release. But outside of those one-time kind of setup things that you can do to generate good signals to Googlebot, the only other way to create signals on an ongoing basis is with content. If you think about it, you need some sort of content to generate any of these other signals. It might be as simple as a name, address, phone number, or it might be as simple as a review from a customer, but those are all content. That's all content. Now, you can obviously create written content, you can create image content, you can create video content, you can create audio content. Written content, well, that's a citation. It's simply a site of a name, address, and phone number of a business on a certain website. That's content. It's just in a structured way, or in a way that Google recognizes it's different than if it were a paragraph of written content, right? But it's still content. So you have to generate content every single month or on a regular basis in order to generate signals. Once you have that content, then what do you do with it to generate signals? That's where Quantum really comes in really strong, because all you got to do is feed content into the Quantum engine, and it's going to produce signals for you, authoritative signals in many different categories. And inside Quantum, you can actually, you can put in images in your content, you can put in written content, you can put in video content, you can put in audio content, you can put in review content. And so you can actually generate review signals inside of a Quantum press release by simply putting in a quote to a review and then linking that review to the Google review. You just created a review signal inside of a written press release. But there's all sorts of ways you can create signals using one piece of content. That's why I wanted to underscore the signals. If you get your brain thinking about signals and how can I fire off more and more signals for Googlebot when it's crawling this page from north to south, it's going from the top to the bottom. How many different signals can I fire off inside this one piece of content for Google? And the more signals you fire off, the more Google's going to love that content. So that's why.
Like if you look at Local Falcon and specific, Local Viking is what they usually do when they spit out the reports. They tell you this is how many signals your competition has. This is how many you have. And if you literally go by off of that, I can go, okay, I'm at 60 signals. This person has 90 signals. I need to create more signals if I want to be in the top 3. That's all you got to do.
That's it. And so we take a normal blog article, what a normal human being will look at and go, oh, it's just a blog, an article about a fishing charter captain. But inside this article, we've got number one, a root keyword, right? This is what he's going after here. Now, again, he's a friend. We do a lot of trade. He actually takes me out fishing when I go to Tampa, and
love those clients.
So it's a good client to have, a good quasi client to have. But we take this, and then we've got an image here, right? This image is oftentimes coming in from Google My Business. We're sucking that image in from a Google My Business post. We've got another keyword here in an H2 tag. We've got an immediate link in the first paragraph that's anchor text optimized going to a Google Maps CID link, as you can see down in the bottom left of my browser. If I click on it, it goes to that Google Maps CID link. That CID link will resolve here in just a moment to the full GMB Maps URL. But on this article, that's another signal. That link's a signal. This image is a signal. This image is a signal. This image is another signal, right? I mean, the more links are signals. We've got another image here. If we were to source this image, I guarantee this is coming in from one of his Google My Business posts, which again, Google crawls this, sees the image, boom, an image signal, sees the image source URL coming from a Google asset, boom, another signal, right? We've got a Google Maps listing here, another very strong, this is one of the, obviously coming from Quantum, we're pulling this in through a Google Maps API call. This is not happening through embed code. This map is appearing through a direct Google Maps API call. That is a very powerful signal, which is why I say not all signals are equal. You can do a map embed, fine, that's a signal. You can do a map API call, and that's a much stronger signal. Yeah. So look at ways to generate signals within your content by creating media-rich content and thinking of it, in those terms. So, your point, your original question, William, was, is this, all happening on July 3rd? On July 3rd, we'll reveal the new brand name, the new app place to go log in. All of our existing customers will be grandfathered in. There'll be actually some pricing advantages our existing customers will have over the new ones coming in. All of your existing company slots for existing customers are going to turn into basically a media room for you. So every company slot that you have inside your business account with Quantum will turn into a media room. Under the new pricing, the app credits, the media rooms are going to cost 5 credits per month. So you can do the math on what your company slots account are going to be worth under the new pricing model. So our existing customers are going to be treated very well under the new brand release. We'll have probably Twitter and Reddit live for sure. We're hoping to have a few other things live as well. But then we have a host of these app channels really almost already done. LinkedIn's already done, Facebook is done, and Google's done. We're just simply waiting on final approvals from some of them, and then we're doing beta testing on a few of them. So there'll be a flurry of releases in July and August, and then we're doing a major release into a major distribution, another third-party white label software partners software on September 1. So we have deadlines on having a number of these things all live by September 1. So July and August are going to be a flurry of new releases.
Very busy day.
What's that?
Very, very busy time.
Yeah, these next 69 days are going to be huge. But it's 7 years of research and development and the last year of major focus on this app channel and app integration code. What we've done here is significant in terms of being able to just launch this media room code or this code and deploy this and deploy all of this functionality using just this code and launching it directly onto a client's website, right? Yeah. What's coming before September 1 is you're going to be able to deploy the entire Quantum app on your own domain as an agency. So instead of it being app.quantumnewswire.com to log in, you're going to be able to white label the entire app as an agency on your own domain, app.rankfortress.com. All of your clients will go there to sign in, and as a part of that release, there's a whole users permissions module that's done. It's already live for us as an admin, but we're releasing it to our agencies concurrent with that white label feature going live, so that your clients will actually be able to log in and actually connect their Twitter account, manage their Twitter account, review content that you have for them and approve it, and all on your own domain inside the app. And then all the reporting will be done on your own domain for your clients as well. Awesome. So all of that will be done before September 1.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like y'all got a lot of work ahead of you.
Well, a lot of this has already been done. So but yeah, still a lot of work to do for sure. But, the heavy lifting has been done.
But all the other stuff's, all the years and all the, heartache's been done. So
yeah. So, and I'll give you an example. A lot of this functionality is already done. So you see how we go to app.quantumnewswire.com to log in right now.
Yeah.
We can go to app.quantumsignals.io and log into the same app.
Awesome.
Okay. How is that? Because we already have different domains already working. So we can actually clone the entire app onto your own domain, or client's domain. Our client being you guys, and as an agency, right? So this is coming very soon. The heavy lifting of the development's already been done. It's already tested and working using multiple domains. So that'll be a huge leap forward for our agencies, because now everything is going to be truly white labeled, and all of the app functionality that's in our software is now your software, and all on your own domain, and extendable then to your clients.
Yep. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I mean, because I have students. I know you've seen it. George, for example, he's one of the students. He posts just doing this is what I tell people, just doing the Google My Business posts and the Quantum News press release like twice a month, no more than twice a month as he's done it. And he's changed geogrids from red and orange to green just by doing that. You don't even have to do all this. Oh, I got to go get thousands of backlinks. I got to get niche relevant backlinks. Yes, they're good. Don't get me wrong. Niche relevant backlinks are good. The on technical SEO is good. But let's say I just do basic technical SEO and I just start doing some GMB posts, creating signals, and then on top of it, throw in the press releases and everything else, then, my geogrids, it doesn't take as much effort as most people want to make. I mean, some industries, yes, not all industries.
Look, if you want the easy button, then get Quantum. Yeah. We built this to replace guest post blogging. We built this to replace niche relevant linking. Is it going to be necessary in some of the campaigns? Yeah. I mean, Quantum's not going to do it for everything, for every campaign all the time. I mean, but 80% of the time, with good, just basic on-page SEO and good on-page GMB SEO.
Most people aren't in the spammy industries. The people that are in the spammy industries are like locksmith, if you will, personal injury, the harder industries, the huge cities. That maybe, but I'm a roofer in Marietta, Georgia. No, I'm sorry. You just basics. Just do your basics.
Yeah, and that's why we talked about that minimum viable solution. I mean, if you want to do all that extra work to get the results in your SEO, then I guess have at it. But you're not going to be as profitable as you possibly can that way. And I'd love to see you save the money and save the time and be able to add in an extra 10 clients because of the extra time you save this month in fulfillment by getting out and selling more, right? And putting more money in your pocket, right? So we really built Quantum. I mean, many of you guys may not know, but I built brandequation.com, or Brand Equation, right? So this is my old legacy agency. It's still kind of alive today, but man, what the heck happened there? I got an image down. But we built this, and so we were doing, SEO for attorneys and chiropractors and auto repair shops and at Brand Equation. And I was like, doing SEO was how we built monthly recurring revenue, MRR, right? I wanted to build the monthly recurring revenue in our business, because when you can build monthly recurring revenue, you get freedom, right, William? I mean, that's that's how you get freedom. That's how you get a better quality of life, right? Is to build monthly recurring revenue. Well, SEO is the best way to build monthly recurring revenue, in my opinion, online for other clients. Yeah, you can do rank and rent and do it for yourself if you want, but I didn't really like the rank and rent model. I like doing it for clients. Whatever.
Mainly, I teach everybody to do a little bit of both.
Yeah, pick your poison, whatever you like, right? But regardless of what you're going to do, if you want to be profitable, then you got to find out the way to make things rank, say 80% of the time with the minimum viable solution. And that's what William's talking about, is don't do all the extra work if you don't have to. And if you're doing all this extra work all the time, then you're never going to know if you're doing a lot of extra work. And from what I can hear, what William's saying, a lot of people are.
A lot of people are doing a lot of extra work that's unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. I mean, literally, I ain't going to give away. Like, we have a guy that we're doing, you're going to see in this new one, is sod. It's just sod installation. That's all they do. So I have a feeling it's probably going to take me a month or less to rank the guy. And then once that's done, the next class I'm going to basically, this is what I'm beating around the bush with. I'm going to go, who here wants me to do a free month of SEO? I'm going to go, who wants me to do a free month of SEO for a locksmith?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to show them how long it takes to actually do a locksmith. And then I'm going to show them how long it takes to do the, towing, all these spammy industries that everybody wants to say takes forever. If you do it, certain things don't take forever. It's just a matter of actually listening and following directions, really. I mean, that's, to me, is what it boils down to. I have people that will tell me, I did everything you said to do, and nothing's happening. And then I have people that I know, I can confirm they did everything I told them to do, and it works. And one of which, and I told them, said, do press releases. Well, I don't think they work, and no, because I tried someone on Fiverr, legit, or wherever, and then it doesn't work, and they think press releases just don't work, and that's just not the case. And that's what I tell people. I know for a fact you didn't follow me. You didn't, tell me, what did you do? And then they tell me, I'm like, yep, figures, you missed this step, this step, this step.
If you use some of these other services, some of them work better than others. They still work, but most of these work to a very, very small amount, very, very little. I mean, some no-follow links and some vanity, but don't expect press releases to work very well. I mean, some of them will work better than others, but don't expect any of these services to work anywhere near the way Quantum will work. And I can guarantee that, because we built it completely different, number one. But this is essentially, guys, what William teaches. It just goes into all the detail inside, the mastermind and all the courses. But at a high level, this is it. And this has worked for 12 years for me. Yeah. Do great keyword and competitive intelligence research. That's the first 10%. 90% of the outcome is determined by the first 10% of your process, right? If you get keyword and competitive research wrong, don't expect, the greatest of results. I mean, you could be going after completely wrong keywords and then wondering why your client's not making any money. Well, if you're ranking for the wrong keywords, there's your answer. But, you got to get this right? And then you just got to do great on-page SEO and great GMB optimization. I saw William post today in the group, complete your GMB listings, right? I mean, complete it to 100%, like fill it all out. Use all.
That's like the first thing I do when we take on a new client. I get their GMB and I go, what's the name? What's the description? What's the reviews? What's this? Have you got 10 pictures? You got 10 of this? You got Q&As? And fill all that in. And then I just, after that, it's just do the post the way I tell you to do them. because I have a very specific way I do my posts. And then, you know, add 10 photos a month, add 10 Q&As at minimum, add 10 photos a month and add 10 Q&As and post 5 days a week. That's it.
And what are you doing there? You're creating content. And with content, you're generating signals, right?
And then what most people don't realize, and this is one of the reasons why I love like Quantum, is they go, well, you know, for instance, well, once you do the post, you can't use them anywhere else. No, that's not true. You hot link them inside of Quantum Newswire, your press releases. You can hot link them on your websites. You can hot link them on other, you know, backlink stacks and everything else. And by doing that, I'm just taking the signal that's already created and spreading it like wildfire.
You bet. I'll go into an example of that. So here's an example, right? You do a GMB post, and then you, like to your point, people say, well, if I do a GMB post, then that's the only place I've got it. No, wrong. You take that GMB post, you go into Quantum, and you create an article around that GMB post. And then the other thing you do with that GMB listing, obviously, is you use the business.site, right? You activate the business.site. Once you do that, every GMB post that you post to the GMB listing, it goes to the GMB business.site. The business site is an aggregator of all the GMB posts. So not only are you creating a signal on a GMB post, that signal is also transferred to creating a signal on the business.site. Then you go in your Quantum account and you create a press release around that post, and then you can link to the post itself. You can pull an image from the post into the press release. I mean, you can link to the business.site inside the press release. You're going to create all sorts of signals for Googlebot to find and crawl, right?
Yep. This is signals and.
Yep. That's what you can do inside the Quantum editor. You can add images, you can add videos, you can add do follow and no follow links, which is also unusual in that you can create do follow links on our platform as well. But again, bringing it back to signals, and you can create these signals manually. I mean, you could go out and manually post here and manually post there and link here and link there, and certainly do that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want the easy button, instead of having to go out and hunt for more guest post blogs and more niche relevant links and manually do it here for this campaign and then manually do it again in 2 months for the same campaign. And meanwhile, you got 10 other campaigns you're trying to manually do that for. Guys, I've tried to do that. You get to 10 to 20 clients, 10 to 20 SEO campaigns, and you are absolutely maxed, right?
Yep.
You're maxed if you're doing all this stuff manually, especially if you're doing manual and you're not doing minimum viable solution or practicing that, and you're doing all sorts of stuff and experimenting. You're going to run around with your head cut off, and you're going to be wondering and you're going to be like, I just want to go back and get a job.
Yep. I mean, there's so many people they'll ask me questions is like, well, I need to learn how to do this. I need to learn how to do that. So honestly, the fact is you don't need to learn to do all that stuff.
You don't.
If you just do the basics and,
You could outsource this to a white label partner.
Yep.
I mean, Williams got a white label crew. You can outsource 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. All of it.
Yeah, I said, Thomas, I wish I had someone like me whenever I was in the States doing it, because literally I tell them all the time, it's like, literally just you to go do sales, get the clients and send them to people like me. And then we do the white label and do all the work and do all the rankings and stuff. 100%.
And if you want to do a little bit of the work, well, fine, outsource the setup so you don't have to get bogged down in setup. Just pass that off to Williams' team. And then you can outsource the quality content generation into your own Quantum account. You can just, let us write it. And then you syndicate it through your Quantum account every month on your own. And you choose the strategy on where you link to and where you don't link to and all that. But you can still outsource the majority of the work and get great results. And then you're moving on to the next sale instead of trying to figure out how to make the rankings even happen and doing all this extra work that you probably don't even need to be doing anyway.
And that's the problem, is most people get in this especially with entrepreneurs, is they get in the bottleneck mentality and they try to do everything themselves, and then they wind up getting nothing done, which is what I try to get them to concentrate it on, is go make sales. And if you can go make sales, just send the work to someone like me. You'll make more money. If you don't, you try to. I have people that want to try to do it in house. I'm telling them, say, number one, you're not going to get the results I get. Number two, you're not going to make the kind of money you're going to make if you get with someone like me.
Here's what
happen.
I will speak from experience and just I'll take it for what it's worth for anyone who listens to this and is running an agency, an SEO company, whatever you want to call it. And if SEO is part of your monthly recurring revenue, it great, and if it's not, it should be. Until you get to $50,000 per month in revenue, recurring revenue, $50,000 a month in recurring revenue, okay? You should be outsourcing it to a white label partner.
Yep.
A good one, and there's a lot of shitty ones out there, but you should, until you get to that level, if you're good at sales, then you should be outsourcing. You should be making the sales and outsourcing, making the sales, outsourcing, and keep building your MRR, monthly recurring revenue. And then at 50K, if you feel like you can do it better and you really want to do more, and then in-house some of that work, then certainly you have the revenue and some of the resources then to be able to, and maybe even the time or at least some staff that you can outsource, even the insourcing of that too, so that you don't get sucked out of sales, because ultimately sales is the lifeblood of every business. If you can't master sales and your sales are always up and down, you are always going to be banging your head against the wall as a business owner.
It's true. It's very true. I used to tell them, number one book I remember reading, and I tell people, I said it really put a lot of things together, is by Sabri, which is Sell Like Crazy. I love his book. I've read it several times, and I mean, it just puts all the dots together for you.
What is the book? What'd you say?
Sell Like Crazy by Sabri. Mm-hmm. And it's just a really good book. I mean, he says a lot of the same thing Russell Brunson says, but he says it, and then he tells you, well, go here to do this. And what are people asking about? Go here to ask, answer the public, and go here for this information, and do your research. And then, who's your ideal client? What's their pain points? What's their pleasure points?
Another great book on that is Josh Nelson's book, The 7-Figure Agency.
Yep.
And he gives it away for free, guys, too. In fact, I've got a link for him if you guys want. But I mean, if you want his book for free, it's very much kind of sounds like some of the same topics, but it's really a great, a high level blueprint of how to build an agency that does $83,000 or more a month in revenue.
Yeah.
And that's very, very possible in the agency market. You guys can easily be doing $50,000 to $100,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue just in SEO alone.
Yep. So that's how a lot of them. I've had agencies come to me, and I've had some leave, of course, but then they're like, well, how much are you charging for your SEO? Then they wind up telling me, okay, they're charging, $600-700. And I'm like, well, number one, if you're outsourcing it to me and I'm charging you, let's say $500, you should be charging at least $1,500 for what I do, at least. And I've priced it out with other people, and I'm like, there are other people that white label, and what you get from me, they're charging $2,000 to $3,000.
Yep,
white label, not retail, white label.
I'll back that up. I'll back that up 100%. In the USA, it's proven, and I'm in contact with hundreds of agencies. So the pricing this is not me just grabbing it out of thin air. You can charge and should be charging $1,500 a month for a quality SEO solution all day long. All right. And if you're not selling it for that much, then you're shorting yourself, and you're hurting the industry, honestly, by undercutting it. I'll literally tell, if I have a prospect, and this is, back when I was selling it to businesses, but if I had a prospect say, well, I got offered, SEO just the other day for $450 per month, from somebody in India, or from somebody on Upwork, or, from somebody on Fiverr. I'd be like, you know what? I'll tell you what. You go ahead and I think you probably should go ahead and try that solution. Just keep my name and my number, and in 4 to 6 months, maybe sooner, give me a call when it doesn't work out, because
you sound a lot like me.
going to spend $450 a month, and in 6 months you're going to go, what did I just pay $2,500 for? And more importantly, what result did I get from that? Whatever activity did happen for the $2,500 I spent, what result did I get from it? And besides the lost time,
I find funny is one of the agencies that did leave me, me and Lane talked, but one of the agencies that did leave me, he's actually in, one of them is in Missouri. Well, the guy that won the SEO is in Missouri in the same niche. I told him, said, I'm getting ready to come in there and just dominate it. And we've, you know, I've already done the research to know how long it's going to take. So it'll be fun to watch, but most people aren't, they're not charging enough.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the agencies that I've seen, they're like, well, I need to bring it back in house. I'm like, if you bring it in house and you're keeping your rates where they're at, you're going to fail. You're going to fail as a business. You know, you need to get your prices up and start charging more. You get better clients or whatever you got to do.
It's all mental. It's all up here. For most agencies, it's just simply they're not confident that they can actually deliver results. And they're not even and then guys, if you're not charging this, then you don't know what the result is actually worth.
The big one for me was I used to think people don't have money. People don't have that kind of money. People ain't got $1,000 a month. People ain't got this. People ain't got that. And it's like, then I've literally, you know, since I've come over here, I've probably raised my price at least twice in the past year.
Let's put out a challenge. Let's put out a challenge just for fun. Anybody who listens to this, we want to challenge you to double your price. On the next 3 proposals, double your price. So whatever you would normally go to, I want you to double it. All right. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Okay. Because even if the prospect says no, that's just too expensive, you could always say, all right, no problem. And then go back to them a week later and say, I crunched some numbers, yada, 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 and we can get it down to X, right? But you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain by doubling your price before you send off that proposal and then report back into the group. You know, anybody who takes the challenge and does it, I want to see what results we get from it. But it's all mental up here. I guarantee when I was charging $1,500 for a website back in, whatever it was, 2012, 2013, I had a mentor come up to me and say, you need to double your price, easily double your price. Your competition is charging $5,000 for a website. Why are you charging $1,500? And I was like, well, I don't know. And it was just really lack of confidence. As soon as I doubled my price, I started selling websites immediately for $3K and more and never looked back.
Yeah. So I've had, I tell them all the time, that's the first thing, double your price at least. And then once you do, if you're getting it from me at 500, at least sell it for 15, at least. And, some of them will do it and then some of them won't. And then it's like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I just know people can afford it because, whenever I used to barely get, it's off subject, but when I was in the States, I would charge $300. I was giving people SEO, social media management, and I felt like I was almost having to pull teeth out of these people. Yeah. And now I'm over here and I go, I could tell someone how much it's going to be, pay up front, and people pay 6 months, 3 months, or monthly, whatever, up front, and they don't ever blink an eye most of the time. So, but it's just a matter of,
if you
having
think
confidence in it.
Don't have money, it's simply a mental block that you have in your own head as an agency owner. It is not the reality on the street, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. And this is a little off topic, but again, good example because I think it'll really help change some of you guys. If for those of you who are struggling with the concept of going from charging $500 a month to $1,500 a month. We had somebody approach us about developing what they thought what we needed was a website for their budget was 10 grand or less for this website that they want. And, I won't go into all details, but the website they wanted a lot of functionality. It really needs to be more of a software, app than more of than a true website. But, as soon as I saw the list of functional requirements, I just immediately shot back to the agency who was bringing this to us saying, hey, can you guys develop this for me and the client? And I just immediately shot back and said, we won't even touch this for anything less than $20,000 to $30,000. That's how much this is really going to cost this lady if she really wants this done. and done right. And if she just wants, if she says all she has is 10,000 for the budget, we don't want it. I don't want her money. I'm not going to rip her off. We can't do it for that, and it wouldn't be worth my time or your time to do it for that. Even if we could do it, it's really not worth. It's worth way more than that. He was like, well, I don't know if she's got the budget, but I'll go back and communicate what you said to her. He went back to her, told her basically essentially that. She said, if it's going to cost 30,000 to get what we need, then we'll spend it.
Yep.
Didn't bat an eye.
People are, and that's something I just found when I started raising my prices. I was literally, you're going to get this, 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 and I can compare. I have a comparison sheet where I compare my stuff versus everybody else. I was like, what you're getting from me, you're not going to get anywhere else. You're just not going to. It's not going to happen. The other two white labelers, I won't mention by name. I talked to them and everything, but one's in the States and one's somewhere else. Both of them, I believe, are in the States. But the thing is, their pricing is just, they'll never touch it because where we live at and everything. So, but that's the beauty of where I'm at. It's because I live in the Philippines, obviously. And, but, I have the experience that, 20 plus years experience, neither one of them can touch. So.
You do have a great team too. I mean, I see that the camaraderie you guys have, and it's I know I have team members in the Philippines and India and then Romania, and it is awesome to see how you can really impact their lives. People.
That's the biggest thing for me. It's not about just the quote unquote money. It's like we launched our new website, and on the new website, I actually go over me and my family's story. The team, where we started at. I was even sending pictures to our team showing this is where we were at just in August of last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was just me and 5 guys back in August. And I said, now we're at 30 plus, so, but that's been good. We'll be back here again next week, same time, same place. And next week we're starting our Google My Business Masterclass Reloaded. And we'll see you there, and we'll see you again.
See you guys.
If you have any questions, let us know. I did have one comment. Someone asked where to go to sign up, and you're going to go to quantumnewswire.net.
No, let's go. We got the Rank Fortress page. Remember, we got Quantum.
Okay.
What is that? quantumsignals.app/rank-fortress.
Okay.
quantumsignals.app/rank fortress. Actually, just rank fortress all in one word, no dash.
Okay.
quantumsignals.app/rank fortress.
And so we'll have this in the group anyways. If y'all have questions and stuff, ask Lane, because he's always in the back there answering questions, because he's one of the experts in the group. So just ask any questions you have there, and he'll answer them. And as always, if I'm not answering them, it's probably because I'm asleep or I'm away. So, but because y'all's time zone usually is different than mine. So
yeah, we're about 12 hours behind.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to y'all soon. I appreciate it again, Lane. You have a good one.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks, William. See you.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.